We all make mistakes, right? I frequently go out wearing odd socks, and I was always calling my teacher mum when I was at school. Luckily, those mistakes were pretty harmless and didn't end up costing anyone a fortune. The same can't be said for the people we're going to meet now. Here's our top 20 typos that cost a fortune.
Amazing!
Number 20. New York Subway. In 2013, the city of New York decided to increase the minimum amount travelers could deposit to their pay and ride cards from $4.50 to $5. To publicize the change, the city printed 160,000 maps and posters to display in subway stations. Unfortunately, the people who designed the posters printed the price as $4.50, not $5. Seriously, how many people must have checked these posters and didn't notice? Anyway, the entire print run had to be recalled at a cost of $500,000. Number 19. Canadian Miss Universe. I've never been in charge of adding up the scores of a Miss Universe contest. I guess you could get pretty easily distracted. That's exactly what happened at Canada's Miss Universe in 2013. An error by a person in charge of adding up the judges' handwritten scores led to the wrong contestant, Denise Garrido, winning the crown. 24 hours later, the mistake was spotted, and poor Denise had to hand her crown over to the real winner, Riza Santos. Denise was only supposed to come third. Number 18. Sydney Ambulance Tragedy. Sadly, worse than monetary cost, typos can lead to loss of life. In 2013, in Sydney, Australia, an 18-month-old toddler fell ill, and a doctor called for an ambulance to take him to hospital. Unfortunately, the call taker, meaning to book the ambulance straight away at 9:14, mistakenly added a 1, actually booking the ambulance for 19:14, 7:15 on the 24-hour clock. After half an hour of waiting, the doctor called again to chase up the ambulance. The call taker, realizing their mistake, dispatched one straight away. Tragically, the child slipped into cardiac arrest before it arrived. This tragedy led to a total overhaul of how ambulances were dispatched in Australia, including cross-checking by a second operator and confirming the time with the caller. Number 17. Alitalia's costly mistake. In 2006, Italy's national airline, Alitalia, caused an online riot when it priced tickets from Toronto to Cyprus for $39. This was no discount though, it was a typo. The price was supposed to be $3,900. More than 2,000 travellers spotted this offer and snapped up the tickets before Alitalia noticed. A horrified Alitalia tried to cancel the bookings, but there was an uproar. In the end, Alitalia decided it would be better to bite the bullet and honour the bookings, at a cost of $7.2 million. Ouch. Number 16. Amazon. Even the world's biggest tech giants can make mistakes. In March 2017, an engineer working on Amazon's web services team was supposed to take down a couple of servers for maintenance. Unfortunately, a slip of a typing finger meant they took down the whole of their Virginia data center, resulting in most of Amazon web services going down for 4 hours. Some of the world's biggest companies rely on Amazon web services for their web operations, including Apple. Estimates say the loss of retail revenue from this outage totaled $150 million. Number 15. New York Miseducation. Back to New York now, and the city's education department. In 2006, a bookkeeping typo caused the city to transfer the budget for education transportation twice. The bookkeeper typed in an extra character when filling out the form that requests money. The city's general fund, the guys that had to hand out the money, didn't see the mistake. The rogue extra character caused their software not to recognize that the request was a duplicate. They transferred $2.8 million instead of the correct $1.4 million. That's a lot of yellow buses. Number 14. The typo that saved millions. So far I've talked about little mistakes that cost fortunes, but here's a typo that actually saved money. In March 2016, cyber hackers managed to penetrate the Bank of Bangladesh. They managed to steal $80 million through 3 fraudulent wire transfers, posing as a charitable foundation. However, when attempting a 4th heist, they spelt the word foundation wrongly on the money request. They spelt it fan-dation. This alerted eagle-eyed bankers, who swiftly shut the transfer down, saving the bank around $870 million. Number 13. Racist pasta. In 2010, Penguin Books of Australia published The Pasta Bible, which included a recipe for tagliatelle and sardines. This recipe called for a quite outlandish garnish though: freshly ground black people. No, this recipe wasn't calling for racially specific cannibalism. It's meant to say black pepper, but there was a typo. Seems a little fishy to me though. I mean, without some sort of predictive spelling, the word people is significantly different to pepper. Either way, when an eagle-eyed reader spotted the mistake, Penguin decided to get rid of and reprint all 7,000 copies in their warehouse at a cost of 20,000 Australian dollars. Luckily, no one tried to actually recreate the recipe. Number 12. The Wicked Bible. In 1631, British book publisher Baker Bookhouse published a Bible that accidentally rewrote the 10 Commandments. Because of a missing word, the Bible declared that "thou shalt commit adultery." The British Parliament, outraged, fined Baker £3,000 and ordered every copy of what became known as the Wicked Bible be destroyed. Whether the person who made this typo received eternal damnation, who knows. Number 11. Lockheed Martin. In the late 90s, aviation giant Lockheed Martin signed a multi-million-dollar deal with an unnamed National Air Force to build C-130J military aircraft. Very clever accountants designed the deal so that the price of the planes would increase in line with inflation. However, in the very clever inflation formula these accountants designed, someone put an extra comma 1 decimal place away from where it should have been. This typo meant that the price would rise at a rate significantly less than inflation. The National Air Force insisted the deal went through as written, meaning this misplaced comma cost Lockheed around $70 million. Not very clever. Number 10. Typo Squatting. Who hasn't made a mistake typing in a web address from time to time? Web hustlers, known as typo squatters, buy up the domains for popular websites, except they're misspelt by 1 or 2 letters, so if you mistype an address, you might go through to their site. When you get there, you'll be served an ad, probably sourced through Google. Google make a profit from every ad they sell, even if it's on a typo squatter's site. Estimates say that serving ads on typo squatting sites net Google $497 million per year. Number 9. Typo lottery winner. In January 2016, Virginia store clerk Michael Donnelly tried to sell a customer a Powerball lottery ticket. Michael accidentally pushed the wrong button on the machine, producing a Cash for Life lottery ticket instead. The customer didn't want the ticket, so Michael paid for the mistake himself. He bought the tickets with his own money. Of course, this ticket turned out to be a winner. Michael walked away with a cool $7 million. Imagine if that was you that refused the ticket. How annoyed would you be? Number 8. Taylor and Sons. Companies House is a government body in the UK that records the details of all the country's businesses. In 2009, a typo at Companies House led to them publishing news that a Welsh engineering firm, Taylor and Sons, which had been around for 124 years, had been closed. It's a typo because the company they meant to announce that had been closed was called Taylor and Son singular. Customers deserted Taylor and Sons in droves, thinking that they had gone bust. Eventually, that's what happened, leading to the loss of 250 jobs. The British government had to pay Taylor and Sons $14 million in compensation. I expect they double check these things nowadays. Number 7. Fruit plants. Another typo from history now. In 1872, the US government wanted to exempt the importation of tropical fruit plants from tax. Unfortunately, when the law was written, a rogue comma crept in there, exempting fruit, plants tropical and semi-tropical for the purpose of propagation or cultivation. This comma actually exempted all fruit importation from tax. The revenue lost by this badly worded law was $2 million, a massive $40 million in today's money. Number 6. Exotic destinations. In 1988, when Sonoma travel agency Banner Travel Services decided to take out an ad in the Yellow Pages, they got more than they bargained for. A typo led to their ad publicising exotic destinations being written as erotic destinations. This certainly brought in some new customers, but a little different from what Banner wanted. They lost 80% of their business, and Banner sued Yellow Pages for $10 million. Number 5. Everyone's a winner. In 2007, a car dealership in Roswell, New Mexico decided to run a lottery competition to drum up some custom. They asked Atlanta-based Force Events Direct marketing company to print 50,000 scratch cards, with one $1,000 winner in there somewhere. They did, and the cards were mailed out. However, the printers had somehow made every ticket a $1,000 winner, potentially costing the dealership $50 million. Of course, they couldn't honour that, and settled on giving everyone a $5 Walmart voucher instead. Number 4. Macys Necklace. In 2013, Macys wanted to mail an advertisement out across the US promoting a $1,500 necklace that was on sale for $479. Bargain! Unfortunately, they missed the 9 off the end of the price, leading to the necklace being priced at $47, even more of a bargain. Shoppers flooded into Macys stores to take advantage of this offer. People were even placing advance orders once the stores had sold out. No one knows exactly how much Macys lost due to this typo. They cancelled the advance orders once they realised it had happened. I bet they triple check their ads now. Number 3. eBay Ale. In 2007, a bottle of one of the rarest beers in the world was sold on eBay for a pittance, all because of a typo. A 155-year-old bottle of Allsop's Arctic Ale was listed as Allsop's Arctic Ale without the final P. The auction didn't get many hits. One clever person found the misspelt auction and bought the bottle for $304. He then relisted it, selling it for $500,000. I bet the original seller needed something strong to drink after that. Number 2. Mizzouho. In 2005, Japanese finance firm Mizzouho Securities introduced a new company to its portfolio, the recruitment company JCOM Co. Mizzouho meant to offer JCOM at 610,000 yen per share, roughly $5,000. Unfortunately, a trader filled in the wrong box, and shares were offered at 1 yen per share. Not only that, they managed to offer 41 times more shares for sale than actually existed, all at 1 yen per share. Were they drinking sake at the time? Mizzouho pleaded with the Tokyo Stock Exchange to allow them to cancel the transactions, but Tokyo said no. The damage for this typo? $340 million. Whenever you think you have a bad day at work, just spare a thought for that trader. Number 1. NASA. In 1962, NASA sent up the Mariner 1 interplanetary probe, heading for Venus. Unfortunately, it never got there, exploding 5 minutes after takeoff. The reason? A typo, of course. Someone forgot to put the dot or overbar over the R somewhere in the guidance software. That doesn't sound like a big deal, but it's apparently enough to destroy a spaceship. It cost NASA $80 million, around $630 million in today's money. Has a typo ever got you in this much trouble? Also, which example was your favourite? Leave me a comment down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to this channel to be part of the notification squad. Thanks for watching.